and he was tailgating us to the point where you looked in the rearview mirror and you're like, is there a truck in my ass? What? Bitch, this section me up. I'm gonna read a section. I'm gonna read a section from this book. How we live is how we die. Now, my boyfriend and I have a running joke because I love saying the title of this book as like the most obnoxious British announcer, like the most obnoxious British newscaster, like the one that's like, here's Sting's $1 Million Mansion, you know, that guy, Robin or whatever his name was. So sometimes we'll have like a one-off, like see who can do the worst, most crippling, annoying British accent, and I want to call him and see if he'll do it. How we live is how we die. Ugh, that was a good one. How we live.
Hello.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Can we hear your impressions of how we live? It's how we die. Give me your best one.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm in the gym, so.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on a second.
This is what you get when you date me.
Okay, here we go. So, how we live is how we die.
That was a good one. How we live is how we die.
How we live is how we die.
Oh, that was good. Okay, thanks, darling. Have a great workout.
Okay, bye.
How we live is how we die. Ugh, God, I hate when British people talk like that. Okay. It was a fun little cameo. All right. This is a great chapter because this is a chapter that I need to hear. Okay. How are we doing on time, Mikey?
We're doing great. 26 minutes.
I've only been talking for 26 minutes?
That's right.
Well, fuck. Okay. Maybe this will be a short-ass episode for once. I always try to keep it to like 40 minutes. We'll see. All right. This is chapter 15 of Pema Chodron's How We Live is How We Die. Ugh. Okay. The third step to courage. Ugh. I want to give you a heads up on this chapter because I listened to the audio version last night, like over and over again as I was cleaning my apartment. And it essentially the message, I'll give it to you ahead of time so that maybe the words will like hit a little deeper. The message is that the really scary, terrifying emotions that you don't like feeling, craving, jealousy, envy, that's the same thing. All those feelings. Her point in this chapter is basically you're lucky to experience these emotions because these are your gateway to being truly free. And I'm like, wait, what? I don't know if I believe that because they feel like ass when I feel those things. But turns out the key is to not react to them. And am I capable of doing that? No. Okay. So, but I'm going to try. All right. Chapter 15, how we live is how we die. The third step to courage, emotions as a path of awakening. Ugh, I already have the willies. The third method of working with our emotions, the third step to courage, is to use them as a path of awakening. The idea is to allow ourselves to experience the energy of the kleshas. And then when she says klesha, I'm just going to say the scary emotions because that's the shorthand of it. But like, I really want you to know that like, it's a wild concept that your scary emotions can actually lead you to like the most beautiful feelings you've ever felt. I do believe that she's right because she's a smart lady and has written a lot of books. But boy, that's a scary thing for my ego to consider. So instead of saying kleshas, I'm just going to say scary emotions. All right. The idea is to allow ourselves to experience the energy of the scary emotions fully and directly. In doing so, we discover that they contain all the wisdom we need to wake up. An unshakable confidence comes from this experience. Ugh. A confidence that brings fearlessness in life and in death. I'm already pretty fearless. Thank God I'm not afraid to die. I mean, my ego's going to be afraid. Like if I'm on a plane as it's crashing, I'm not going to be like, la da da. I'm not going to be like chilling. But overall, I'm not afraid to die. As I have said, we all come into this world with co-emergent unawareness, which is a basic misunderstanding of how things are. You're telling me, girl. You're telling me. There's people that are adults that still have a basic misunderstanding of how things are. And you're like, wow, maybe you shouldn't double park in Williamsburg when there's Saturday traffic, you piece of garbage. We believe we have some kind of stable identity, something that makes me, something separate from the rest. Ugh, this is that age-old saying of, you're not special. Sorry. Based on this misunderstanding, we find ourselves constantly getting hooked by a myriad of pleasures and pains the world has to offer. Oh, say it again for the people in the back. Our mind gets completely wrapped up in scary emotions and all the trouble that goes along with them. The teachings say that this painful process will continue until we wake up from our unawareness completely, until we see ourselves and all phenomena as they really are, fleeting, insubstantial, and wide open with possibility, never separate from the basic ground, never separate from the cosmic mirror. Okay, I kind of get what she's saying. I've read this book so many times, and every time I'm like, I get it a little bit more, but I'm still mainly confused. The term co-emergent ignorance is interesting because it implies that ignorance doesn't appear alone. Ugh, this is a good one. The Buddha taught that wherever there's confusion, there's also wisdom. So confusion and wisdom go hand in hand, which is a wild thing to think about, but just ponder it for the rest of this episode. Co-emergent wisdom. Whenever we get hooked, whenever our scary emotions get triggered, whenever we temporarily lose our bearings and act out in destructive ways, me all the time, we are in the grips of confusion. But that very confusion is inseparable. Inseparable. I lost my place. That very confusion, well, I lost my place, is inseparable from our deepest wisdom. Again, confusion and wisdom, they're besties, apparently. Didn't know that. Could have used that in school instead of learning how to sew. In the traditional analogy, confusion and wisdom are like ice and water. This is a beautiful analogy. Which are both made of the same molecules. The only difference is that ice is frozen and water isn't. Confusion is based on having a frozen view of ourselves and the world. It's a product of our discomfort with the groundless nature of how things are. Because, baby girl, things are groundless. And I know we want to think that they're not, but they fucking are, okay? The cosmic mirrorness of how things are. Most of us experience that wide open space as groundlessness. Anger, craving, got a lot of that every day, all day. Jealousy, sometimes when someone tries to hit on my boyfriend in front of me, I'll push him. And all the other kleshas, scary emotions, are part of this discomfort. Using our emotions as a pathway of awakening is based on simply letting the emotion be, which is a wild concept if you're a double Pisces ass bitch like me, because boy, when I have a feeling, I'm going to react to it. And I'm just, it's like every time I feel one of these scary feelings, I'm like shocked that somebody could feel these things. And I felt them a lot. And every time I'm shocked, it's like when I get my period. I'm like, why am I so cranky and angry and sad at the same? Oh, I forget every month. Every fucking month I forget. And then I'm like, oh, right. I'm kind of like that whenever I get wrapped up in these emotions. Okay, I'm going to read that sentence again. Using our emotions as a path of awakening is based on simply letting the emotion be, just as it is. I say simply, but letting anything in our mind simply be is easier said than done. No shit, Pema. No disrespect. The ego feels at home only when it's meddling, trying to fix things. Ugh, isn't that so true? Like your nosy ass neighbors. It's always telling us that we can't leave anything alone. So we need to be patient and patience and courage if we want to learn how to let our scary emotions be. It's so hard not to react to having oh my God. Just not judging yourself and the world and everybody around you when you're in the throes of, let's say, jealousy or rage. Oh my God, it's so hard. When I feel rage welling up in my bones and somebody tries to rightfully calm me down, oh, that makes me so much more mad. Oh my God, I get so mad. And then sometimes I'll be in a position like, I think I talked about this story a couple of weeks ago when I was in the passenger seat. Colin was driving. We were on our way to an event, And the guy behind us was in this Big Mac truck, and he was fucking tailgating us to the point where you looked in the rearview mirror and you're like, is there a truck in my asshole? What? I'm sorry. And he kept honking, and Colin chose to not run a light to make the turn, and he like almost hit us. And I was bubbling, baby. I was bubbling my bones. And I took my seatbelt off, and I was going to get out of the car and just look at him because I'm improving and I'm evolving, and I'm not going to do anything except go, what, bitch? All right, I won't say bitch. Maybe I would have said bitch. Who knows? But my point is, Colin stopped me. He goes, don't get out of the car. And I was like, and then my anger had nowhere to go. Oh my God. I was seething the rest of the day and probably the next day. Because if Pema was here in front of me, I'd be like, where do you put the emotion? Where do you put it? Because yes, I tried to relax, but my rage didn't have an outlet. And now, am I going to get a tumor? Maybe that's what running does. Anyway, we first have to give the scary emotions enough space so we can actually see what's happening. We need some perspective on our emotion. This doesn't exactly mean distancing ourselves from the scary emotion. It's more like positioning our mind in order to see clearly, which is so hard to do when you're in a fit of rage. Doing so requires us to practice refraining. What's that? Never even heard of that. It requires a mindful gap before we speak or act. Man, the one thing my parents, my dad would always say, Christina Marie, take 2 seconds before you say something. Just think. And I always used to be like, I'm not dumb, Dad. I know. But he's right. That was good advice. I still can't do it. I've been getting told that since I was like 4. It's hard to have any perspective when we're activated. Yeah. Having a clear perspective, we let ourselves experience the emotion as fully as possible. This is similar to letting ourselves feel what we feel, but it goes further. In this practice, we want to learn what the emotion really is. Now, this is a gorgeous little metaphor we're about to go in, okay? Instead of putting into the categories such as positive or negative, which is what I always do, like this emotion's bad, this emotion's good, we try to contact its energy directly and intimately to get to know its very essence. Oh, the energy of rage. We want to know it, not merely with our conceptual mind, but deeply with our heart and our full being. Yes, we do. Anam Thubton, don't know if I'm saying that right, makes the distinction between ordinary scary emotions and conscious scary emotions. Ordinary scary emotions, I'm replacing the word klesha, don't forget, are what we're familiar with. For instance, when we're in a state of craving, it feels unpleasant. We lack perspective on it, and we usually react in harmful ways. Yep, and Conscious scary emotions are where the wisdom lies. When we go beyond our propensity to be bothered by craving, when we come to experience it as a form of wakeful energy, which is very interesting because as somebody who has been addicted to a lot of drugs and activities, when you're craving the thing and you're quitting it and you're craving it. I remember when I quit smoking, I started again. Sorry. But when I quit for about 2 years or a year. And I was pissed. And in that, I wish I read this book while I was quitting. I'm going to quit again. But not right now. But I know when I quit again, I'm going to be pissed when I want a cigarette and I'm not going to get one. And the little inner brat in me, my inner twat comes out and is like, but I deserve a cigarette. And I just like have convinced myself that I'm missing out if I don't have a cigarette, even though the opposite is true. But I totally get how stopping a craving and just sitting with it, you're experiencing like a wave of electricity because this chick is right. Pema is right. She is correct. The energy of these emotions they're very electrifying and they're very wakeful. Like they do wake you up, and your girl loves an upper. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to employ this when I go to quit next. Then the emotion loses its power to disturb us. Instead, it becomes something precious, part of the preciousness of life. By relating to our emotions in this way, we discover their enlightened aspect, the wisdom that is co-emergent with ignorance and confusion. It is always present in each and every one of our scary emotions. To contact it, we allow the scary emotion to just be what it is. Then the ice will melt and we will experience the open, flowing quality of water. So basically she's saying, okay, so a klesha of craving. You good? That was really loud.
I didn't hear anything.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I got sonar hearing like a dolphin. So craving and the opposite of craving. What does she use that as an example? Basically, there's like a really positive thing at the on the other side of that emotion. So if you just stay with craving and you relax the muscles in your body and you just breathe and you stay calm and you just exist and you can notice how it feels, the craving energy, and you can notice your thoughts as you don't give yourself the cigarette or whatever it is. And then you can realize that the energy of craving, if you relax into it and the ice melts, it's very electrifying. This is not easy. Not only does it take practice to contact the wisdom in the scary emotion, but it also takes practice to distinguish between the two, between wisdom and non-recognition. How can we tell whether we're experiencing a neurotic aspect of the energy or a wakeful aspect? Very good question, because too many of us are neurotic, including me. Often the clearest evidence is found in our body. Generally, our ordinary kleshas correspond to some form of physical contraction. We feel a tightness in our stomach or our jaw, or perhaps more subtly in our heart or solar plexus. When our emotions are in the ember stage, this contraction may be hard to detect. But if we practice tuning into our emotions and our body, then physical tightness can serve as an indicator of when we're caught in an ordinary scary emotion or klesha. So yeah, it's all about getting in contact with your body, which is why your girl loves running. Because I feel so in my body when I run, because I don't bring my phone, because fuck that. I'm so happy to like not have a phone. And I obviously don't wear headphones. There's nothing to listen. I don't listen to anything. I listen to my breath, and it's very relaxing. And it's really cool because you really tell, like, how is my body feeling? How are my legs feeling? What is tight? What feels loose? And so when you have all these scary emotions, there's almost always a physical sensation attached to it. We just don't take the time out to notice it. And if you take the time out to notice it, you're using your observational brain. Now I'm combining all these books into one, all these authors. But it's just really good for you and for the world. By getting in touch with the physical sensation of our neurosis, we come to know the feeling of wisdom as well. From this point of view, wisdom feels like relaxation, expansion, openness. Instead of fighting with our emotions, we let them motherfucking be, okay? We don't act them out or repress them. We simply let them motherfucking be. We simply connect with what they feel like. Instead of tightening up and with our strong opinions and storylines, we relax and allow the co-emergent wisdom in our scary emotions to speak for itself. I fucking dare you to do that this week, guys. If we practice in this way, our emotions themselves will become our most direct path of awakening. Oh my God. Am I like 39 minutes? How much?
42.
42. I did it. I did it, you guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations on not taking your own life, because it's tough here on planet Earth. We chose to come here, and a lot of us regret it. But you know what? We're going to do good. We're going to do good. We got this. Life is beautiful, or it can be with that attitude. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to follow me online at Krystyna Hutch. My debut stand-up comedy album, Good Girl Barbara, is available to stream on Spotify or to purchase on Apple Music. And I am headlining Bananas Comedy Club in New Jersey, right across the river from New York City, this Friday and Saturday. I have no idea how tickets are. Can't imagine they're great. So buy tickets, link in my bio, in my Instagram bio, and make sure if you're in Los Angeles on Valentine's Day, you come see Corinne and I at the main room of the Comedy Store at 10:30 p.m. Love you, bitch.
Someday we'll be friends with the voices in our heads. The voices in our heads.